here live at the crime scene. Yeah, we here live at the crime scene with another episode of No Gatekeeping. I'm with a special guest, private chef, culinary artist, okay? The one and only Jerica. Let's give it up, let's give it up, let's give it up. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
What's up? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good.
What's up? Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, you left off some things.
Yeah, for you to pick up. Talk to me.
I'm a private chef.
Uh-huh.
I cater. I'm also a baker. I do custom cakes and treats.
Hello.
And I'm a part-time culinary arts after-school teacher.
Oh,
so
wow.
I teach kids how to cook also.
What is that like?
It's really fun.
Okay.
To be honest with you, growing up, I always said, like, I would never be a teacher because, like, even as a kid, I was an adult. And
Tell
kids
me
were annoying.
more about it.
It's really fun. The kids are very hands-on. They actually are very insightful. They want to know how to cook. They're asking me how long it's got to cook for, how should I season this, why I'm seasoning it with that, and I like that. So like, it's not me forcing them. They want to cook.
Do you how do you balance that? How do you balance the work life and the personal life? Well, the
it's
business
only
life.
part-time, so
Right.
It's a nice balance, honestly. If I have an order that needs to be picked up before or after, I just let my client know the time frame that they could pick up, and it's quick.
Copy.
So it doesn't really like. I don't like to have a job. I worked for myself for
I love that.
7 years straight. This don't feel like a job.
Right.
It's like I just go cook with the kids, I have fun, and then boom, that's it.
Was it any risk that you took while working for yourself? Technically you're not employed by the government, right? Directly. You still getting money from the government, but you see what I'm trying to say. What kind of risk comes with that? You know what I mean?
Well, the first risk was when I quit the job that I did have.
Right. Let's start there.
That was a lot. My mom is like my best friend, and I like go to her for everything. And I was worried she was gonna like flip out. But there was like a moment that I had, and I was like, I love my mom, but I am gonna quit this job and just do cooking full time, and it worked out pretty well. That was the biggest risk, starting and making that be full time, because it was too conflicting with the job that I had. The lady I worked for, it was someone who also was baking, and it was like we were the same age. Right. And it was a conflict. Like she wanted her business to prioritize mine, and I couldn't let it be that way, so I quit.
When did you realize you were good at cooking?
That's a good question. I've been cooking since my mom always cooked dinner like every night.
Okay.
So I want to say from like 7, she was letting me help.
Jerica, get in this kitchen.
Yeah, in the kitchen cooking. Thanksgiving, I'm snapping green beans. I'm like obsessed with Big Mac and cheese, so I always want to make the Big Mac and cheese with her. And when I turned 12, I catered the Big Mac and cheese for a cookout, and everybody loved it. But I always wanted to be an actress, so I didn't think nothing of it. Like, cooking is my happy place.
Right.
And like any school I went to, if you know anybody I went to school with, you think about if we had a bake sale or a food sale, I was always in charge. That was my thing. I was baking cupcakes. I was doing Big Mac and cheese, and I wanted to. Then when I got to college, I was like the mom, and I was cooking for everybody because it wasn't dorms. It was like townhouses.
Okay.
So we had a kitchen, and I'm buying groceries, and I'm cooking dinner, and it's like, I'm going to Jerica's house to eat.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's where it started.
It started at home.
Yeah,
it got a little more
kitchen.
serious in college because I had no choice but to be the one that was cooking. And then when I tried to go to film school and I couldn't, I went to culinary school. And it just came to me. Like, it wasn't something I was looking for. When Instagram first came out and people were taking pictures of themselves, I was uploading pictures of cookies and cakes that I was baking. And then one day, one of my friends was like, how much would you charge to make the cupcakes for my son's birthday party?
Boom, and it clicked.
And I didn't even know people did that. Honestly, I didn't know people got cakes and things from local bakers. And that was the start of it. Shout out to Equasia.
Shout out to Equasia. That's Bobo.
She ordered some Cookie Monster and some Elmo cupcakes for her son's first birthday party.
And you did that.
And from there, it just started. in culinary school, baking wasn't the focus. So I had to like, learn it more on like YouTube and practice until it just got better.
So you practice.
But everything I was doing was perfect, right?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
All right.
Everything's perfect.
Okay.
So what sets you different from other people?
I think that I don't think about that. I'm not like conceited, but I'm very into myself, and I be like in my own bubble.
Right.
Like I like cooking. It's something that makes me happy. I cook with love. I get in my zone and I go into a whole nother world. So maybe if anything, that's what sets me inside. Cause like I'm not doing it for Instagram or for somebody else. I'm doing it cause it makes me happy. So.
What things did you wish you knew earlier while starting your career?
My capabilities.
Okay. Yeah,
There's a lot of things that I was like afraid to make because I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. Like I like to make everything from scratch, and there was certain dishes that might have been giving me a hard time, so then I was discouraged, but then I try again and I nail it and I perfected it, and I'm like, you should have tried this 3 years ago. Man. So I'm happy that I'm more open and more self-aware that I can make anything.
That's dope.
Yeah. So
and having the
I
confidence
like
to do is important too. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, I wish I could say the name of this movie. It's some movie with like a bunch of actors in it. Kerry Hilson, Gabrielle Union, DC Young Fly. But my point is, it was a married couple, and the wife used to cook. They had like 10 kids, and she had a recipe book, and they couldn't find it. She had passed away. And when they were having like family feuding, arguing, and when they found it, it brought them all closer. I want my family to remember me for cooking for my recipes. Like I want to leave that for them because that's my main thing that I like about cooking. I like cooking for clients, but I like to cook for family. Like I want to host the food for the Super Bowl. I want to have Thanksgiving at my house. Everybody come over for dinner just because it's Saturday. That's my thing. So like the techniques and cooking period and the love that comes with it, like I feel like cooking is a love language and it's a bonding tool, kind of like how I cook with the kids. It's a cool way to bond with children. All my friends' kids, I've cooked with most of them sometimes and like they have fun and they remember me still even if I didn't see them in a while for that. So definitely for cooking.
Do you ever think about making a signature dish? Like a signature, the Jerica mac and cheese.
Whoa, my Jerry's Magic Mac is definitely...
The Jerry Magic Mac. What's the name? What's the name? Get it right.
Jerry's Magic Mac. That's what I call it. My mac and cheese is definitely a thing. It's not intentionally my signature dish. I have thought about that. Like when sometimes people would suggest me to go on like cooking shows, which I don't think would be my thing. When I see that the audition is you got to do a signature dish, I'm like, I can't go on TV trying to give Gordon Ramsay mac and cheese.
Why not?
I don't know, like mac and cheese. I feel like I could come up with something and maybe one day it'll come to me.
You know Melba's, right?
Yes.
She beat Gordon Ramsay. They had a fried chicken challenge.
Of course she beat Gordon Ramsay, and I'm not even gonna elaborate on why with the
Okay, oh shit.
With fried chicken?
but what I'm saying is though, soul food was the
so then I could be him with my Big Mac.
Hello.
All right.
Make him grate the cheese too. He ain't grate the top, man. Please, niggas never not a great cheese.
So for now, I guess mac and cheese is my thing because that is definitely what people write me for.
That's dope. In the true no gatekeeping fashion, what are some secrets? Don't give away too much sauce. You know what I mean? But what are some secrets that for people who are starting in the food industry that could help them? And what are some things that, this is start, you know what? I'm gonna say that fucking question again because Dre's looking at me. He gonna kill me. All right, let me just, all right, here we go. So what's, in the true no gatekeeping fashion, right? What secrets or trades or tools you wish you had that you could give other people right now that's starting out?
Starting out like trying to be a private chef, because I feel like it depends what lane you're going in. With cooking, you could be somebody who wants to work in a restaurant. I've never wanted to do that. It's too much pressure on me, the bell, and I can't do that.
Right.
if you want to be a food photography chef, you want to be a private chef, you want to strictly cater, you want to be a baker. So I guess it's more so knowing exactly what you want to do and then perfecting your craft and moving forward from there.
So how do you move as a private chef?
What do you mean?
Like, what are some secrets as a private chef that you could give people, you know?
A secret?
Not a secret, not necessarily a secret, but a resource that they could use, you know? So, for instance, I want to be a private chef, right? What are some things I could avoid, you know, that you wish you could have avoided? Or what are some things that...
Pricing.
Okay, yes, talk about that.
Food is very expensive and boundaries. So I know a lot of people, like how I told you, if you went to any school with me, you know that I was cooking or I was baking.
Right.
Sometimes people feel like if they know you, that they should pay less, or maybe that you should even do it for free.
Here we go.
Or there's celebrities that you may have been cool with or not have been cool with, and they want you to make the stuff for a post. You just got to know your worth, and that's not really okay. I know that there's a networking, networking is cool and sometimes doing it, but you got to know when to stop.
Right.
Because people take advantage. And food is expensive again, and it's your time and it's your craft and your talent. And if people like your food, then that alone right there, you got the key to do whatever you want to do. So I think that's the secret. Knowing and believing in yourself and pricing. Because sometimes you could do something. I cook from scratch, so everything be expensive.
Right.
And I had a problem with pricing for a long time. And people already feel like I charge too much, and I don't charge enough. Sometimes it'll come right out of my pocket, but that's because I love cooking and I know how I want to execute everything that I made. So if I want something to look a certain way and I done went past the profit part and now I'm paying for it, then I will. So I feel like if you learn pricing, then maybe you could avoid that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And communicating with people. So in terms of events and venues, I know there's a lot of communication that goes on with that. How do you handle dealing with different people and different personalities?
Oh, I'm so patient.
Okay.
I think in my head I'm a complete psycho, but what goes on in there is not what comes out.
Right.
Nobody will never know that they're annoying me because this is my business. I don't have a team. When somebody books me for a catering, it's me getting in a cab or maybe a friend of mine taking me and dropping me off, or maybe it's an Uber. Well, I said that already. But, yeah. I forgot the question in mid-answer.
Now you good. I fucking love that.
I forgot what I was answering just now. Yeah,
I'm keeping that. You know I'm keeping that.
Don't do
what the fuck
that.
you talking about?
I lost my train of thought.
That's gonna be the clip, right?
Yeah, it's fucking. That's gonna be so fire.
That's gonna go viral with that.
That's gonna be so fire. That's gonna be so fire.
Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed because the answer was good, but
I forgot what I asked you.
I see.
What could you do? I forgot what I asked you.
Oh my goodness.
Communication, guys.
Oh,
right,
okay. I'm happy.
personalities
Thank you.
and different people.
We appreciate you. I'm accustomed to dealing with multiple different personalities. I feel like myself, I got multiple personalities. But I have patience. And again, this is my brand. So I don't have a team. That's where I got lost at. I can't make myself look bad.
Right.
And I care. Cooking, like I said, cooking is expensive, but cooking is important. When you go to a baby shower, when you go to a bridal shower, when you go to a party,
and any event,
you want
really.
some food.
Amen.
You trying to make a to-go plate. And the food people talk about on the side, yo, who made this? It's important. It's a staple in your event. It's not the decorations. It's not the baby that's about to be born, but it is memorable. So I have to keep that up. I have to keep it up to par. And also I'm going to treat others how I want to be treated. And I want my food to be good. So I'm going to put all the good love and energy into the food that I'm making for the people. So it's not hard. Everybody doesn't have that, though. I will say that. Customer service is very serious to me. I had a job at Staples, and that was like their number one thing, customer service. So that was a good lesson I got from them. And then just me being the person that I am, I want to give good customer service. If somebody's paying you, you should be kind. You should be respectful. You should be patient. Everybody doesn't communicate the same. I hate being on the phone. I have certain clients who they're going to place their order through the phone. And I have to take it that way because that's how they communicate. It is what it is.
Speaking about your brand, right? Where do you see your brand down the line?
I can't really answer that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna answer it so that we could come back to this clip.
Right. Right. I like that.
I
Bring
don't like to
fruition.
necessarily compare myself to different celebrities, but sometimes it's good for an example. I like Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
And that's more so the lane I want to go in. I don't want to cook for people forever. When I get to a certain point, people who have been clients always, they will have the access to book me sometimes, but I want to do pot and pans, cookware, oven mitts, the towels for the kitchen, do a collab. Oh no, we cancel Target. Let's say Crate and Barrel. Do a collab with them with some plates.
I felt that.
Things like that.
So you want to be Miss Kitchen. You want to be known as Miss
Yes.
Kitchen. Right. I got you.
Oven
That's
mitts,
dope.
get some from me. Knife set, and it's gonna be gold because I love gold. I want things that are gonna accumulate me wealth continuously with cooking.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think that also ties back into your legacy
And I want to
too.
teach people how to cook. So cookbooks, they're soon to come. Seasonings, I make my own seasoning blends. So at some point, I would like them to be for sale. So that's more so the lane that I'm trying to go in. But for now, I am a private chef.
How do you?
and I cook.
So how do you handle business outside of people contact you for food? Like, how do you handle business in terms of making your seasonings, getting the shipping, getting the like? What is that? What is that like? What is that like?
No.
making your seasonings?
I make the seasons for myself. I haven't started having it for sale or nothing like
copy,
that.
copy.
These are things that are to come. You were saying what's the plans.
I
I'm
got
telling you the
Amen.
plans. I didn't
like
want to
that.
share it, but I said we got to come back to it for when it happens.
Amen.
But these are things that I would like to have people to have access to.
That's dope.
I'm getting the answers to the questions you just asked me so I could do it.
So, what inspiration have you seen, and how has that inspired you?
So when I finished my culinary arts program, I had to do an internship with this lady. I will not say the name of her business because no shade, she doesn't need her name said. But I did learn a lot of things from her.
Okay.
Her presentation, the way she went super hard to make sure that everything looked perfect. And when she would have like these little gatherings to promote her product, I met a bunch of food bloggers. That was like, I don't watch TV.
Right.
And I don't really watch like YouTube videos. Like I said, I be like in my own bubble. So that opened up like a whole new world for me. Then I started following a bunch of foodies. And I'm seeing them going out, eating, rating food, or food bloggers who have websites where they're sharing recipes and they grow their own herbs and fruits and vegetables. And I'm like, that's more so what I want to do, but for my family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you put it out for the public?
Put what up?
Like,
I want to record it.
yes, I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't mind recording it and sharing because initially I want to cook for my family, but I want to teach people how to cook.
Yeah.
I love cooking for people, but cooking, people say I say this because I'm a chef, but cooking is not hard. If you can follow basic directions, like if you got to follow a recipe, okay, follow it because it could be your guidance. But put a little bit of you in there. Season with love and keep doing it until you get it right. And I want people to know that. Like, you can make everything that you eat.
Right.
The world makes money off our laziness. We can make our own ketchup. We can make our own mayonnaise. You can make your own buns. And I want to teach people as much as I can. And the inspiration from all the foodies when they open that world up to me. And even going to culinary school and just learning about all the different sauces and learning to make every single thing from scratch. Now I don't buy jar Alfredo sauce no more.
That's
I
crazy.
will
You make your
slap
own.
you if you even try to give me that. So it's like,
Has that helped you become healthier? And because you're making things from scratch now, you're not getting the things with all the other shit inside.
yeah,
injected
I
in
do
it.
think that is healthier. Today was the last day of Lent. I had
Amen.
gave up bread, pasta,
Starch.
and like sweets. Yeah. And it also opened my eye up to all the different things that I could eat because I was losing my mind the first week. Like, I need some rice. I need some Alfredo right now. But there's so many different food options. There's so many vegetables. There's so much chicken. There's so many alternatives.
Alternatives.
Yeah. So that's a fun thing about being a chef. Just being aware of all the things that we could eat and the different ways you could twist it. Like even with the vegans, how they be making the delusional stuff.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Vegans,
But it's cool though.
it's mad
I
cool.
love how they go into it. Like I'm watching them make oxtail, and that is not an oxtail.
Nope.
But it looked like one.
It tastes
And
like
it tastes like one.
I'm just saying.
So I applaud that.
Yeah,
With
for real.
cooking, the possibilities are endless.
It's an art. It's really an art.
Yes, it definitely is an art. And if you love it, you can execute it greatly. And if you're interested, you could too. So that's why I'm interested in teaching people how to cook. For now, I'll cook for you, but you could cook what I made for you if you follow my directions. So I practice that with my friends because I'm working on a cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a select few people who I'll send them the outline of the recipe and they make it and get back to me and let me know if it came out how mine's tastes and if I need to adjust anything in the directions.
So you got your own bloggers or foodies, really? Your own
Yeah,
critics?
secretly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's just to help me
It's a
so
fact.
that when the book come out, everything makes sense and I'm confident in it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you hiring
Ain't
for that
you
position?
supposed to be asking me questions?
That's a fact. I keep on saying that. Let me ask you a question. Are you hiring for that position?
I'm not hiring for anything.
Do you need any food tasters? No.
Everybody want to be a food taster.
Hello?
If I knew more in advance, I would have showed up with food.
Oh no, don't worry about that.
No, I actually would have. That's just who I am. You interviewing me about being a chef. It would have been great to have everybody have some food.
I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I never had your food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I primarily found you just off not only aesthetics, but I guess people's reactions to your food. And so I know people who know you, right? And so then it's like
Clearly.
right, clearly, right? And like you said before, it goes a long way, word of mouth. You know what I mean? Who made this? Who put their foot inside this mac and shit like that? But that right there travels a long way. And I think for me, you don't have to always try the food. You know what I mean? I think your page within itself is an experience, and I think you're a hell of an artist.
I really appreciate that because sometimes it's overwhelming. Like I'm a private chef and people beg me to do food sales and that's just not my thing. I do not profit from the food sales. I don't know which camera I'm looking at. I have them for what you just said.
Right.
Because new people order every time. And sometimes my food sales have gotten me caterings because somebody tasted a turkey wing that their friend had from my food sale. And now I just got booked for a catering for 100 people. So sometimes I do food sales to get the word of mouth out there. But even when I do a flyer, I got to put pictures up. And it's like, I don't want to be cocky, but you see my page. Y'all know the vibes with the food. So, like, just pre-order.
Jerica, baby.
Just get catering. Let me
It's
do
Jerica, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we're not bringing no bum ass people up here, man. This is Jerica, V. You know what I mean?
it. Thank you.
Well, shout out to you. Shout out to your art. Shout out to everything you do. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for shedding light on your industry.
Not a lot of people, but I've been asked to do this a few times, and I say yes, but then nothing don't ever happen. Thank you for your persistence
Oh, of course.
and making sure that I really came. This is beautiful, and I'm happy that you guys were interested enough to have me up here.
Go ahead. Thank you. All right, good girl. Shout out, climbing up. All right, we did that. Yeah, V. Any future things you want to do as a private chef?
I don't want to be a private chef in the future.
Right.
I would more so like to cook for my future husband and my future kids and my extended family and friends occasionally.
Okay.
I'd more so like to be full blown, doing cooking show, doing cookbooks, doing seasonings, have a cookware line. I want to have a farm with some chickens and some cows.
The eggs are expensive.
Exactly. I need to make my own
eggs.
eggs with my chickens, and I know what I'm feeding them. So, yeah, the private chef thing is I don't see that far in my future, but
Got you.
for now, I like to live for now.
Can you have a private chef business?
I don't mind. I
Possibly.
have things that I'm working on. I told you I can't say too much because I want it to happen, but there's some things that I'm working on that I will like. It would be because I started it, and obviously I can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
But there's definitely 2 things that I'm trying to start, and I won't be involved all the time.
Yeah,
but
directly.
yeah, but
Okay.
it'll be good. I promise,
if
and
your
I'll
hands
come
is on
back
Shout out to
and
you,
talk
kid.
about it.
Yo, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. But yeah, that's a wrap. That's it. That's it. Good night. I'll talk to you later.
Good night.